welcome back to my channel, TorAthena, where this has not been the funnest of weeks. It has been very, very busy. It has been very full. For those who have already gone to the comic shop may know what I'm on about. It has been the most comic-licious week I've ever seen. And this is just how many I picked up. I'm not saying this is how many came out. I picked up 18 issue ones this week. 18. Do you want to see what 18 comics look like? This is what 18 comics look like. This is what I had to try and read and review and film and I couldn't do it. And it really annoyed me because the last couple of weeks I've been struggling to even get 3 issue ones to read and review, and now I've got 18. Naturally, I couldn't read them all. I couldn't fit 18 comics in. I'm a slow reader as it is, but that's an inhuman amount of reading to do. So I avoided all the Marvel ones as they're doing all their reboots. I avoided Batman and Robin Eternal. I avoided all the video game ones like Lara Croft, the books ones, the River of London, and the TV show ones like Heroes. So I tried to just stick with the completely independent, unique stories, starting from scratch, and read and review them. This cost me £76. All of these. Not everyone has that money. I don't have that money. So you need to know, if you want to pick up a new story, which one you want to read, which ones you want to put your money towards, and which ones you don't. So this week I'm doing things a little bit differently, and I'm doing a flash review video. I'm going to flash review the 11 comics I did read, giving you a slight synopsis on each of them and what I roughly thought about them, and you could decide which ones sound more for you. If you want to know more about the comics, I've also filmed, edited, and will currently be uploading, when you're watching this probably, individual videos on my review channel. So there'll be 11 new videos on my review channel, all talking in detail about each comic I read. We don't have much time, so let's go. Also, just so you know, this isn't in any particular order. There is no book of the week. There were too many good ones, I couldn't decide. So I'm sorry, just flash review. Let's go. Rowan's Ruin by Boom Studios, a mini-series of 4 issues. An American girl house swaps with a British girl in England for a cheap vacation before college starts. Spooky stuff starts to happen in the mansion and she worries she's not alone. This comic was more chilling than some horror films I've watched recently. I absolutely loved it and I've subscribed to the next issue. A Train Called Love by Dynamite Comics. A load of stuff happens and it's definitely not for kids. It's like if Pulp Fiction were a comic book. Race cards are played, sex happens, hitmen are called, and there's bar singers, as always. I just can't explain everything that happens in about 30 seconds that I have to explain it all. Garth Ennis wrote this and he's made me want to keep reading it. Saints by Image Comics. Blaze, Lucy and Sebastian discover an unholy war is erupting, and they, unwittingly, are the next generation of saints, called to fight for a heaven that God has abandoned. This first issue is crammed full of sex, heavy metal, and deadly one-liners. Once again, not for kids. This reminds me of one of my favourite films, Dogma, and it's intrigued me enough to at least buy the next issue. Jughead by Archie Comics. We've all got excited about the latest Archie reboot. I know I did. I'm still reading it. Now Chip is back and he's doing Jughead, who is one of my favourite characters in Archie. Fiona isn't there though and it's sad. I miss her artwork so much. However, Henderson does a fantastic job for making up for the lack of Fiona being there. The comic is just as funny and just as light-hearted as Archie. If you've read Archie, it's exactly the same, but with Jughead. However, I'm more into the story progression that's going on in Archie, and if I only had to pick one of the two, I would still be sticking with Archie. Dead Vengeance by Dark Horse Comics. A pickled corpse at a carnival comes back to life with no memory of who he is or how he got there. All he knows is that it skipped 10 years and is now the 1930s, and the name of his best friend. Together, him and his friend talk through past events and work out how they've got there. I flew through this story. It was so good and I definitely want to keep reading this. Survivors Club by Vertigo Comics. A girl is convinced her and 5 others are all linked through some terrible video game and a traumatic experience they all experienced in 1987. With terrible events returning, she believes that her and the 5 others are the only ones that can stop it. If you ignore the adverts that are placed throughout the story, this is mysteriously addictive and I really want to find out what happens. Plus it's about video games. Paper Girls by Image Comics. Brian K. Vaughan, who wrote Saga and Why the Last Man, has got me all excited. It's about 4 12-year-old girls who are doing a paper delivery route in 1988. And on this particular route, they discover something a little off. It's War of the Worlds meets Stand By Me, and I have to tell you, I am excited. It wasn't the most gripping or exciting comic I read this week, but anything this guy touches turns to gold, and I have to keep subscribing just because he's one of my favourite writers. Codename Babushka by Image Comics. What if the sexy Russian blonde girl spy was actually the hero? It's sexy, she's kick-ass, it's action-packed. If this sounds like your type of comic, you're not going to be disappointed. Plus, I just love that name, Babushka. Grumpy Cat, miniseries of 3 by Dynamite Comics. It's Grumpy Cat, he's in a comic and he hates it. Project Nemesis by American Gothic Press. John Hudson thinks he's searching for Bigfoot, but what he actually finds is a giant alien-like monster created by the government. Funny, fast-paced and incredibly dark at times makes it really worth picking up this first issue. And this one I'm saving for last, not because it's pick of the week, but because it's technically separate from the comic books that I've just been reading, but it definitely deserves a shout out. Liberty Annual by Image Comics. Apparently it's been banned book week this week. And I think that's why they chose to bring it out now, because the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund got together big, bigger and giant names all in one place to put together this magazine that defends the right to free speech and artistic expression. In a world where we get more and more offended by absolutely everything, I found this comic a breath of fresh air really. And although I didn't get every reference in the comic, the ones I did really did make me sit back and think about the struggles and the worries that artists go through. So any artists who are watching this, go you! You are a lot braver than I thought, and this is a really good idea. Well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the super flash review comic. I don't actually know how long this is gonna be now. This took a lot longer to film than I thought. I have about 18 minutes to edit now in total, but there is so many mistakes because as I was like going through each comic, I was getting more and more tongue-tied, and so that's gonna make a very good blooper reel in the near future. I'm sorry if you didn't really like this format, but blame all the comics that had to come out this week. And if you want to see the more in detail ones, just go to the review channel, the link's below. I love you all, thanks for watching, bye!